Marc was very ambitious. He was young when he joined the RCMP and had lots of vision on where he wanted to go with his career and what he wanted to do. Yeah, my understanding is he just wanted to be an RCMP officer and be in police work and help people and, get a chance to do different things and obviously see different places. He ended up in Western Canada, so yeah.
I sleep on a couch bed, and they had that same couch bed for when my dad lived with them. And then they told me the story of how he would stay up super late on the phone talking with my mom.
He was loving husband and father, and also he got really involved in my family. So he's just an all-around good guy, and anybody who I've ever met when I was with Marc and then after he died was always seemed positive.
Kind of a mixed bag of feelings. Of course, we're honored that there's such a fabulous group of people that are still honoring my husband and Luca's father, Marc. So that part is, of course, a little bit of uplifting, and then, of course, it's a little bit sad for the reason why we have to be here. But generally speaking, it's okay. It's the 10th anniversary, and only happens once, so it's time to come back and visit.
So I was on maternity leave because our son was only 9 months old at the time of the incident. And so Spiritwood's not that big of a community. And I remember hearing sirens. And I remember hearing the sirens and thinking, okay, so something's going on or whatever. I think it was about 9 o'clock at night or so. I got that knock on the door by 2 uniformed police officers. And the thing that was weird about this was that they were police officers that weren't from our detachment. They were police officers that were from the neighboring detachment in Shelbrook. So they said that they were down helping because there was an incident, but they didn't really tell me what. And I wasn't really asking because I wasn't really worried. My mind didn't go to like the worst situation. And I think it was about an hour later that there was a knock at the door, and it was my sergeant and the corporal from the detachment. And so then I knew something was wrong. And I just remember the sergeant couldn't look at me, and he kind of walked over a little bit in our porch area, and the corporal came up how our house was, just kind of came up the stairs and hugged me and just said that there had been an accident, which in hindsight makes me mad because when I think about like an accident, I think about like a car accident, or I think, an accident sounds like it's something that wasn't intentional and that it's less serious perhaps. But then during that, it came out that he had been shot, and I was like, where, when, like that type of thing. So I got driven to the hospital, and so they show me to the room where Marc is, and I see him laying on a bed, and he's got a white sheet on him, and I see him laying there that he's obviously unconscious, and he looks fine. Like nothing looks wrong. And so the nurse comes in, and she wants to give me his wedding ring because they take the jewelry and stuff off them. And so I take that, and I'm like, where is he shot? Because I don't see any blood and I don't see anything. And it's not until she kind of looked at me like as if I'm not probably seeing, and she said like the head. And I was like, what? And then it wasn't until then that I saw there was gauze wrapped around his head, and it was kind of right at his hairline. So it wasn't obvious because I could see his face. I was like, so then I was like, okay, then I knew it was bad. And so after that, it involved me getting a ride to Saskatoon because Marc was going to be transported in a ambulance. So we went there, and then 9 days in the hospital, and on the 9th day was when. So my biggest thing always through this whole thing was that Marc wanted to have a family, and so he did, and I knew he wanted to have a son. So he was very, very proud when Luca was born. And it always worried me how it would affect Luca as time went on. But as he got older, it got a little more I realized that it was affecting him more, that he was realizing what he was missing in his life. And so that just kind of made me sad. It still makes me sad, but I just hope that like I continue to be enough for him, and that he will continue to grow up realizing that his dad loved him and wanted him, and that there's other people in his life that will help him develop. But the thing is that I think this will affect him for the rest of his life. The thing that maybe would surprise most people is I don't really think about this person much anymore. I don't let him intrude in my thoughts or my daily living or my life, because I think that would be damaging for myself and for our family. So I don't really have a lot to say to him at all. Like, he's in jail, and as far as I'm concerned, he can rot there, I guess. Like, that's where he deserves to be, and his choices and his decisions have gotten him to where he is, and I guess he deserves to be there. That's really the only thing.